we are going live, and we are live. Just says
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Training. My name is David. I'm here to show you an overview of Deskera. Then we're going to go through the new features, and then we're going to go through some frequently asked questions. You have the slide ready?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name's David, and we're here at Tuesday Training, and I'm here to show you an overview of Deskera. Then we're going to go through some of the new features, and then we're going to go through some of the FAQ, or frequently asked questions. So let's get started. All right, so let's go into here, the all-in-one dashboard, and you can see in the all-in-one dashboard, I can see Deskera books. I can see my invoices, age receivable, my bank account. Under CRM, I can see my won and lost deals, my pipeline, and my contact reports. And under Deskera people, I can see my expense claims, and boy, have they shot up. My payroll and leaves per month. So at a quick glance, I can see everything that's going on in the company. Just to let you know, under security, this is where you can enable two-factor authentication. All right, so let's go to books. So now we're off to books. And inside here, we'll be able to see the dashboard. So I'm able to see my invoices, and I can see for the last 30 days, current month, last month, current year, and last year. My age receivables. Looks like not a lot of new orders. My bills over the last 30 days, current month, last year. My bank account, which looks like it's going up, which is good. My net cash flow, my profit and loss. So I'm able to see everything here at a glance. Next, let's go to settings. Inside here, we have our organization profile. So after you set up your company, this is where you're going to see this information, such as your company name, your tax registry, and your date format. So if your date format looks somewhat weird, you can go here and look at making some changes. So for example, day, month, year. But if for some reason it's month, day, year, you can change it here accordingly. Under finance, we have our finance start date, our book beginning date, our reporting currency, and this is where you can enable multi-currency. This is where you can select the number of decimal places, but please take note, you can go up or increase the number of decimal places, but you cannot go back or reduce. So for example, I increased to 4, but I cannot go back to 3 or 2 now. The number format, so if you want to change the number formats here. And then we have compliance. So this is your compliance information. It changes based upon your country tax registry. And for example, I'm in Singapore, so we have UEN and GST. And this is where you can opt in for e-invoicing, so you can put in your PEPO ID and your vendor ID. And we also have registration instructions here, such as downloading the authorization letter, printing on your letter of your company's letterhead, stamp, sign, email the complete form, put in this information, submit it, and then we'll update your PEPO ID in your organization settings. You can then update your PEPO ID in your organization settings. We'll send you the PEPO ID. And address, so you can update the address here. You can see I have more than one address. And you can set its current billing address and current shipping address. After that, everything should be updated and saved. We, of course, have our users, our currencies. So this is where you can enable and disable your different currencies here, either by clicking on the eye icon or selecting the currencies and clicking activate. You can also change the rate here as well and update the exchange rate, effective date, and timestamp to whatever you'd like. I can also disable currency the same way by clicking the eye icon or selecting the currency here. Now let's go back to settings. Next, go to taxes. And inside here, I can see all the different tax types. So based again on your tax registry, which country you selected, the different tax types will automatically populate. So for example, your GSTs, all the different ones will appear here. And you're able to hide them by clicking the eye icon. You can also add a tax group by clicking Add Tax Group. Then you can put in the name, description, you can put in the tax code. So for example, tax group 2, tax code TX-002. I can select the type, is it sales, purchase, or both? And then I can start inputting the components here based upon my requirements. So for example, SR7, is it pre-tax or after tax? And let's see, what else can we select? OS0, and then I can just save it, and the tax group is created. And I can also select the tax groups, and I can also delete them as well. All right, so let's go back to settings. This is where you can create your payment terms, your unit of measurement, and this is where you can create your custom fields. So this can be used for additional information, slice and dicing reports, filtering out the information that are required. And when you click create, you can create it by text box, multiple selection drop-down menu, or numbers based on your requirements. Under availability, you can put under your contacts and products, your accounts, your journals, expense deposits, your debit note, credit note, and of course your quotation, invoice, purchase order, and bills. So you can have it all in these different transactions and masters. Masters would be your contacts, accounts, and products. All right, so after that, of course, we have our audit log to make sure no one's doing anything fishy in your company. So you can check on them. Your import log, so you can see if you have everything imported correctly. So you'll have the original file, you have the green file, which is your imported file. And if you see any red files, that means it did not import correctly. So you can see your rejected files here. Bulk import, we can import your masters, which is your contacts, products, and your chart of accounts from QuickBooks and Xero. Email. So this is where you can set up your email. You can put your sender name, sender email, username, password, your SMT import, and then you can test connect, and then you can verify. You can see I've already connected up the settings before, but this is where you can do it. What does this do? This allows you to send invoices using your email address and not our Deskera default. And sequence numbers. So inside here, before we had quotation, invoice had the same number, order and bill had the same number, but now you can decide to change the number format for each one. So for example, quote, invoice, order, and bill, I can select which one I want, and I always can create my own custom one here as well. All right. So let's go to products, and let's click new product. Inside here, we have three different types of products. We have our non-tracked, tracked, and bill of materials. Non-tracked, you consider it like our services, like an electrician, aircon repair. What my sister does, she's a certified public accountant, so she goes and audits different companies. You can also think of it as products you don't want to keep track of, like computer printing paper, maybe those coffee cups you give away for free to your customers for visiting, and other items that you don't want to track. We also have tracked products. So this ones are products you like to track, like your computer, apples, oranges, monitors, cameras, all sorts of different items, all items that you buy and then sell. And then under inventory, we have the enable advanced tracking. So we have batch tracking. So what is batch tracking? It's a grouping of products that are created together. So for example, you may have a batch of products like a batch of oranges, you have a batch of lettuce, you can also have a batch of what's it called? Medicine. Certain types of pills are produced in batches. And you also maybe have a batch of steel rebar, or a batch of products that you produced. And you want to keep track of this batch products. You may have an expiry date, a manufacturing date. So this is where you can do it, enable batch tracking. We have serial number. So serial number is to identify a unique item. For example, like a camera, a computer, my mobile phone. All these items need to be uniquely tracked. Maybe it's for warranty purposes. Maybe you need to know the manufacturing date. But you can have this information here as well. And we have bill of materials. Bill of materials is a bunch of items assembled together to form a product. So you can think of it like components. Like if you look at a desktop, your RAM, CPU, motherboard, your hard drive, your case. You can also think of it like chicken soup. You got your chicken, you got your broth, your vegetables, your noodles, and you combine it together to form your chicken soup. There's probably additional costs for cooking, heating, and other stuff. And you can also think of it like packages. So for example, a package of items together. So for example, maybe a keyboard, monitor, laptop. You can also think of it like rooms, hotel rooms in Hawaii, airplane tickets. What's it called? A helicopter ride. You package it all together into one package that you're selling. So you can think of it like different items here. So for example, if I click here and type in computer set, And I click bill of materials, and I can start editing my components. So for example, monitor, mouse, computer. And then additional costs, maybe assembly. I can put the additional cost amount in here, and additional cost, maybe packaging. And the costs of the items are based upon what you purchased. And then you can save and it's created. Once created, you can just assemble here under build assembly, but you can also assemble at the time when you fulfill it as well. I can also see all the items I don't have quantity for. Next, let's click on sell. Inside here, we're going to create a new invoice. And this will inform you, of course, we're PEPL ready, and you can register here. Now I'm going to select my contact. For example, Austin Ideas. I can put in my contact name, for example, Austin Williams. Any outlet I want to track, size of the company. Again, these are all custom fields that I've created, and it's up to you whether you want to use or not. Plus, I can add any custom fields here that I may require. So I don't have to go back to settings. I can just create it right here. Same thing with the company. If I want to, I can click here, new contact, and create it directly on the screen. I don't have to go to the contact screen in order to create it. Add product, same thing. I can add a product directly, or I can type it in here. For example, cameras. And I can hover over my quantity. I can see that I don't have any. Maybe I want to buy 10. Ooh, that's good. And I can see the unit price here. Any discount, I can do a flat. So that's a flat rate. If I click percentage, it becomes a percentage rate. And all of a sudden, I'm not making anything off of this. So I'm going to delete that. I also can say unit price is tax inclusive. And now it's been considered part of the unit price. I can do attachment or a memo. Under custom fields, I can show the visibility of all these custom fields and hide which ones I don't want. I can set as recurring. So for example, you may have a service and you may have a subscription, a monthly subscription, yearly subscription. For example, my antivirus software on my computer, or maybe like Deskera. So you can set it up here recurring, and you can decide, is it monthly, yearly, weekly, or custom based upon your requirements? If it's custom, is it every day, every week, every month? Or I can say every 15 days. I can change it accordingly. I can say the first document date. I can select the ending date, or I can say it never ends. Under auto send, I can put in the sender name, set up who's it sent to, reply to, subject, and I can add placeholders. For example, maybe contact name, invoice date, currency, due amount, due date, and other information, even invoice. And I can send a copy to myself, and I can choose the document template here. Under more is where we set up multiple currency options. So I can select my multiple currency. For example, is it United States dollar? And if I want to, I can update the currency directly on the screen here. So I don't have to go back to my currency. I can just update it. We can set up payments. So I can set up my Stripe payment, my PayPal payment here. I just click on it, and it'll take me to the apps page, and I can immediately start setting it up so I can receive payment. So connect with PayPal, configure with Deskera, and then sync it. And then I can save and close. And you can see I don't have enough quantity, so it's asking me to create a back order. So I can save and create a back order. And I can add a contact here. So this would be my vendor. So for example, maybe Bill's Computers. But what is a back order? Meaning if I don't have enough stock, I can create a back order with my vendor. The vendor then will send the goods directly to me, and then I'll send it off to my customer. So for example, the 10 quantity, if I want to increase the quantity, I can also increase it here. For example, maybe I decided that I need more than just 10. I can do 20, and I can save and close it. And then I can see it here, and I just want to receive it. And I can receive partial, for example. Maybe I only want 10. Let's see. Oh, add batch. Okay. Let me go C-0003. Then I can put in the manufacturing date, expiry date, batch quantity, quantity signed. Maybe I want to sign 10, for example. Done. And I receive. So I receive partial here. And it says partially received. Then I can go back here and then I can, of course, fulfill it under my invoices. So for example, let's just click 3 dots. And I want to fulfill. Direct fulfillment. And then I can go here, select my good old add batch. C dash. And you can see it populates here. 10 quantity done. And I can fulfill. And then I'll update fulfilled. I can also do a partial fulfillment if I want to. I can always drill in and take a look. Okay, this is 10 computers. I clicked on the wrong one, sorry. Let me click on Awesome Ideas. Inside here, I can see my fulfillment record here and any payment records here as well. All right. I also want to click on Tommy's computers, and I want to click Fulfill. Oh, that's where we can change our languages. And I want to show you the different fulfillment types. You can do direct fulfillment, which I just showed you. We can do pick, pack, ship, where we pick the goods, we pack them, and we ship them out. And we have drop ship. So drop ship is where a customer places an order with me. Then I place an order with my vendor, and the vendor sends directly to my customer. So this is different from back order. Back order, the goods come to me, and then I send to the customer. Inside here, the vendor sends directly to the customer. So for example, the customer orders a watch. I place an order with a watch to my vendor, and the vendor immediately sends it to my customer. Once my customer receives, it's considered fulfilled. All right, let's get paid. So inside here, I can select my bank. And I can also change the currency up here. So for example, if I want to change it to USD, I can change it to USD. And you can see my bank, my deposit bank changed because it's based upon my bank account. I'm sorry, it's based upon the currency. The bank account is based upon the currency. So let me go here. I can select, let me select HSBC. I can also apply advance payment or a credit note that's been created here. So inside here, if I see there's advance payments, I can then apply it. Holy cow, an advance payment of $17,000. I'm going to add that one. 2,000. Only have to pay 140 bucks. Bank transfer. Put in the reference date, reference number. Click next, and then I'm going to receive it. Go to close. And one payment has now been received, and then I'll move off to archive. We also have invoice reminder. So inside here, I can set up an invoice reminder before on due date, how many days before we send the invoice reminder. And I can also see the email preview here from David and all the information. And also after due date, how many days after due date repeats and how many days. And I can see the email preview here. And it all depends on how much you want to harass your wonderful contacts or how many times you want to remind them. All right. Sorry. So inside here, this is where you can create your different types of warehouses. So you can have more than one. But let's go to accounting. Excuse me. So inside here, this is where you have your chart of accounts, your journal entries. So this is where you can create your normal journal entries and your fund transfers. You also have your opening balances. So this is where you can input your opening balances for your account, inventory, and contacts. So what is your opening balances? Everything before your book beginning date is considered an opening. Everything on your book beginning date and after are actual transactions in the system. And usually book beginning date would be the start of a month because usually financial month-end closing will happen and it'll close, and then you can update this information. So you update your opening for accounts, update your opening quantity and valuation. Now, opening valuation is the total amount of quantity. So for example, so it's saying we're here, for example, 3 computer sets is equal to $500. The total amount of these computer sets are 33, sorry. The total value of these 3 computer sets equals $500. And under contacts, this is where you're able to create your opening sales invoices and opening bills. And you're able to, of course, import the information via Excel for your accounts, invoice contacts. You can also do it for your products and contacts. You can also do it for your invoice transactions and also accounting transactions. So for example, under expenses, we have the import option now. And deposits, we also have the import option. So you can create your debit notes, credit notes. Under expenses, you can also create a direct expense or a prepayment. A prepayment would be applied to your bill. And your direct deposits, under here you can create your direct deposit, advance payment, and any bank deposits. So if you have any undeposited funds, this is where you can select the bank deposit and deposit them. So for example, let's see, do I have any undeposited funds? Yes, so for example, I have this invoice. This has not been deposited yet. I can then deposit the bank account I want. And our financial year-end closing. So if you're going to do financial year-end closing, you can choose. Do you want to close every month, every quarter, every year, or custom? And your retained earnings. After that, you can do your closing of each period. So for example, close period. For example, 2020. I check everything here, make sure everything's correct, and I can click next, and I can save. You can see all the information here, save it, and it's then closed. All right, next let's go to bank. Inside here I can see all my different banks. So this is where I can go reconcile my accounts. So if I click on this, I can see my Deskera transactions if there are any there. So right here, different transactions. And I can see any bank transactions. So the bank transactions are the transactions that I synced with my bank account, either by connecting it or importing a statement. Inside here are my different transactions in Deskera, and I can click match on which ones I want. And after that, I can click next. And then I can confirm, and I can put in the period, reconciliation, and save, and they'll be reconciled. We also have rules. Wonderful, wonderful rules. So inside here, I can create these rules, and based upon them, I can determine if transactions are automatically created in the system. Because you may sync your bank account, and there may be Deskera transactions that are matching, but there may be others that don't match. And really, they come every month. I think of it like my telephone bill, my internet bill, my cable bill. They come every month to the same amount. So I can set a rule for these and have them automatically generate the transactions. And if I want to, have them automatically match, so I don't have to do it every time. So I can show you the rules that I've already created. So for example, Austin. So inside here, I have my Austin credit. And I said the rule, if the payee contains Austin and the description contains ideas, then create a wonderful bank transfer for Austin Ideas, reference number, and it's advance payment. And I can put a memo here. So I can automatically create it, and I'm saying here auto create, meaning I do not want to look at it, approve it before it's created. I just want it to be created immediately. If I say review and create, then I have to review it, and then it's created. And I can view here any matching transactions. So I can see these 3 here that all match, and then I can save it. So that way, it'll automatically be created based on the rule. Oh yeah, so finally, let me just show you quickly. Actually, instead of adding a bank, let's just go connect one up. So if I just want to connect one up, I can click on the 3 dots and click connect. You can also connect to Stripe here. And I connect to a bank. And then I can search, for example, OCBC. I can see my OCBC bank. But for example, what if I have a US bank like Wells Fargo, Bank of America? You can see here I have these US banks, and maybe I can't find it there under that specific one. So I can go here and connect, and then I can click on, for example, can't find your bank, and then I can choose Plate or Yodlee, find bank, and then it takes me to a different provider. So inside here, I can then select my bank account. All right, so next let's go to reports. Fascinating. All right, that looks correct now, much better. All right, let's now go to reports. Inside here, I can see my profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow statement. Just to quickly show, we do have filter options, add custom fields, and this is where I can select my custom field filters. You, of course, have your balance sheet, general ledger, your reconciliation report, statement of accounts, your GST report log. So this is where all your financial, your tax compliant reports are. So this is very important. Based upon the country you select, the reports will change based upon that. Since this is a Singapore company, I can see my GST report log. I can create, I can select my GST Form 5, Form 7, Form 8. I can select the period. So for example, maybe December. Okay. And then I'll calculate the amount here. Revenue for the accounting period. I can see any information here. I can view details. I can go back, and I can also generate for other reports. And I have my settings here as well. So my GST number, tax number, first period, start date, filing frequency, ID, IGDS scheme. So you can determine how you want to set it up. IRAS audit log, GST report. We have our purchase reports, your goods received reports, age payables, purchase order product. We have our inventory reports, so stock age by stock availability by warehouse. So if you have more than one warehouse, you can see where stock's located. And you can see your stock aging report. How is it aging? Are the stocks all moving out quickly? Or do you have some stock that's just been there for donkey's years, have been there forever, and never seem to want to leave? Then you have to determine, do I want to reduce the price to get them out? Do I want to scrap it? How do I make more space in my warehouse for stock that's actually moving and providing value? We have our sales return report and our purchase return report. And then you can see I'm always returning purchases for a specific vendor. Is it a quality issue? And figure out what's going on. We have our outstanding sales fulfillment reports, quotation reports, or age receivables, who owe us money. So we can go check that out and make sure we're getting paid on time, which is important for any business. Sales by product, you can see what products are selling the most, receipt lists, and credit notes. And just quickly, we're just going to go apps, and then we're going to go to CRM. So inside here, we have our payment gateways. So Veeam, PayPal, Stripe, and Wise. Veeam, please take note, is for USD as base currency. So if it's USD, you can use, but if not, we can receive payments from customers using PayPal and Stripe. And we also have Wise to make payments to our vendor. We also connect to, we have our fixed assets, we have our stock transfer, we have our stock adjustment. If you want to track your shipments, we have USPS and FedEx. And we also connect to Integrately, Pabbly, Zapier, and Integromat. And we have this e-com app. Inside here, you're going to be able to connect to Amazon, Shopify, and WooCommerce. So based upon your requirements, you can just click Connect Shopify, for example, input your store name, URL, Shopify API key, and Shopify API password, and save. WooCommerce, just go and sign in. URL name, store URL, and you click Connect. It'll take you to a site, and you can sign in. And under Amazon, you can go here, and it'll take you to the Amazon sign-in screen. All right. So that was a quick look at books. Any questions? Ah, okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I think Karthik has got them answered, it looks like.
So let's start with which one do you want to do?
I'm just seeing if you're referring to tax inclusive invoicing, that is very much supported. Okay, further up than tax. Can category okay. Can we reverse calculation of gross amount of the invoice after tax amount? You can click taxes inclusive. So I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. So inside here, if not, if you could explain a little bit more in the chat. Let me just go and edit this, like Tom's computers. Oh, it's already transferred from another. Let's go quote. Okay. Cakes Plus. All right, let's just create a new one. All right, just need to select that. Add products. My computer. I have my quantity. You can see here's the SR7 and my tax amount is $8.40. That's added on to my total amount. If I click here, unit price is tax inclusive. You can see my total amount now is $120 inside here. So the tax amount is included in the unit price. SR, rounding, and the Singapore amount. You can see my subtotal is now $112 and 149. Sorry, so many decimal places. 1495. And then you can see my tax is $7.8505. And then we add up all of it, it goes to 120. So hopefully that answered your question. If my understanding is correct. Okay. Oh, that's Karthik. Items into fixed assets and non-fixed assets. So your fixed assets would be under your apps. So inside here, you click on apps. Then I can click on fixed assets and open it on up. And then you connect. And then you can start creating your fixed asset groups. So I can put in the group name, maybe cars. Select the asset account, accumulated depreciation account, depreciation expense account. Under accounting, you select the depreciation method. Is it no depreciation, straight line, instant asset write-off, conversion, full month, accrual days, and you can put in the rate and the effective life. And then you can save it or add group. And then under here, your fixed asset. Wow, I have a lot of cars. You can go here and you can edit it. Definitely Singapore price cars. And then you can put in the asset name, serial number, purchase date, asset auto number range, purchase price, opening accumulation, if there's any, description, and the bill details, bill date, due date, accounting. So this is your group, depreciation start date, so forth. So you can fill that all in under fixed assets. Then you can also assign under your different types of non-fixed assets inside books itself. Sorry. All right. Bill of materials. Yes, we have bill of materials. So, for example, we were talking about earlier. Let me just close all this, go back to books. You can generate your bill of materials under your products. And inside there, you can also assemble. Anything specific about bill of materials? So inside here, I can just do the quantity. So for example, 10. And I can assemble 10 here, for example, under build. I create a computer set here. And it depends on which type of products, but more or less you input your components. And that's how it showed. So under bill of materials, inventory, bill of materials, you input your components here, additional cost, and then you save it. And when you assemble it, it consumes those bill of material or the components together.
This is asking about e-commerce.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm not sure exactly how many you can add. I know you can add several stores, if I remember correctly.
Maybe we reply in the chat.
Karthik, could you check if we have a limit? I know you can add more than one store, if I remember correctly. But can you verify on how many we can add under ecom?
Can we do reverse calculation in purchase price?
Reverse calculate. Let's see. Purchase also. Okay. Let's go here. Let's go to buy. Let's create a new bill. I'm just going to select the contact. Bills computers.
It's the same as the last one.
That's for sell products. He's asking for buy products, right? So yes, it's similar, exactly the same. So you can see $100, my 7%, 107. I just click here again. Unit price is tax inclusive. And you can see here my subtotal, $39.45. Before tax, after tax, $6.54. And then total 100. So it's included in the price. No limit. So Karthik says, with the new ecom, you can add multiple WooCommerce stores. No limit added as such. Excellent. All right. So let's go to, let's see, sales. Let me see, close, books, or dashboard. Oh, just to mention, under small all-in-one businesses, this is where you have your user management. So you go to the Go dashboard, and this is where you can see all your users. So I just want to mention here, this is where you can edit and delete your users. And under this action, this is where you're able to change the roles. So for example, in Deskera Books, I can select guest, and then I only have the buy and sell and auditor. Auditor can see everything, but cannot do any transactions. Buy and sell can do the buy and sell transactions. Of course, under guest user, we have, of course, paid, and you can do, of course, your accounting and admin. So I just want to let you know, this is also for CRM. If you're looking to give people roles and access and authorization, this is where you do it. And you save it and update. And it'll update the list. All right, so let's go to Deskera Sales. Inside here, I can see the number of organizations, peoples, deals lost, deals won, my contact report. So my warm leads, cold leads, hot leads, any upcoming activities, my deals. So for the past 6 months, this month or last week, deals lost, deals won, I can filter by the dates, past 6 months of my campaigns, and any tickets. So let's go to settings. Inside here, I can see my users, my team settings. So this is an important setting if you have team management view. So for example, I can set my contacts and I can set my deals to different types of visibility. So if I want, I can set it so that it's private, only owner and sub-owner can see. My teams, only my teams can see. So this is where I create my team. So you may have multiple teams and multiple contacts and deals, and this is where you create it in order for them to see it. And we have everybody in the world can see, or anyone can log in. Just like books, we have custom fields, but we have a couple more choices. Inside here, we have, of course, your text box, single selection, drop-down menu, numbers, but we also have country, currency, and date here as well. This is your email, so this is where you can set up your first email. You can put in your sender name, email address, username, password. You can put in your server import for your IMAP, and you can put in your server import for your SMTP outgoing, and you can allow non-secure certificates. Once set up, then all of a sudden you can start sending mails from your contacts as well as from your deals. And once you send it from your contact or your deal, and that person responds, it should record the response inside the system. We have our integration settings. So this is where you connect to Microsoft 365, your contacts and activities, your Google Tag Manager, and your webhooks. Under Guide, this is where you can create your help desk. So you can put in your help desk information, your hero image, your logo, your favicon. You can activate your help center here, and you can disable the Powered by Deskera logo here if you want. Once done, you can click here, save and open, and then it'll open to your web page. So this is mainly to help you frequently asked questions. These are your help documents. So that way your client can go there and any FAQs, any information he can find out there, or any announcements. We have a sales event, or we went and did a wonderful visit to this location for them to see. Inside here is where you can add your support email. So this is for when your contacts respond or send an email out to this email address, it'll create a ticket in the system. That way you can respond to it, put the priority, and set it up accordingly for your support tickets. Of course, we have the Audit Trail, your preferences. This is where you can disable your campaigns and your web forms. And when I say disable, I mean disable Powered by Deskera logo in your campaigns and web forms. Of course, we have the import log, so you can see if everything's been imported correctly or not. Next, let's go to contacts. Inside here, I can see all my different contacts, and I can see this icon here for Andy Johnson. You just see this Microsoft 365 logo. It means that it was pulled in from Microsoft 365 since I'm connected. I can also go to columns here, and I'm able to hide and change. For example, maybe I don't want size of company. Maybe I'm not interested in the phone number or deals open, and I can move it. So for example, maybe I want to see who the owner of all these are. And I can save it. And you can see the owner name has changed. The columns have changed. I can add a filter here and filter out the information. So for example, I can put the information in here. And of course, I can see all. I can see my people, my organizations, all right here. And I can sync my contacts and import my contacts here. And just to mention, just in case I didn't mention earlier, the contacts sync both ways. So if I create a contact in CRM, it will sync to books. If I create a contact in books, it'll sync to CRM. So your contacts are always in sync. All right, so let's go to marketing. Inside here is where you can create your segments. I can see the company name, and I can see the created on. I can see the members here. And I can add a segment. All I have to do is put in the segment name, a description, and then I can start selecting my segments here. But what happens if I have a large amount of segments? Well, I can click the filter button. I can filter by owner, sub-owner, visibility label, and custom fields. So if I have a custom field here, for example, size of company, or food type, or maybe different types of business areas, or based upon your requirements, I can set this up and put in the value, and then it'll filter accordingly. This is where we have our email templates. So this is where I can create all my different email templates. Add. And it's simple as dragging and dropping. So I have all these different drag and drop features. For example, have sections. I can just drop it here. And then I go back. I can just drop an image. Then I can go just find an image. So for example, let's see. Do I have any nice images? Let's see. Yeah, this one might be, guys. Let's see. Is it too big? Oh, yeah. We have a 1 megabyte size. So you uploaded it. I click on it. It's added. Then I can just drag and drop other information like text. I can say, for example, hi, comma, select placeholder, first name. How are you, for example? And then I can save it. Just to give you an idea, you have multiple selections here. Just want to also mention this is where you can export, and this is where you can import. So if you have your own import template or your own HTML that you want to use, you can just copy and paste the HTML here, and you're all set. Also, we have different views. So this is our desktop view, we have our tablet view, and we have our mobile view. So I can see how it looks in all of them. Let's go to campaign. Let's add a campaign. So June campaign. Maybe I'll call it June 15th. Subject, the great June 15th sales event. I can select a category and put my categories here. Next, select my segments, or just create a segment here. Then after that, I can select my email template. I can use one of the default ones. Make any changes to it I want by just clicking here, and I can save and continue. Check and make sure everything looks good. Click next. Now, I can use my own mail, and I can use up to 5 accounts here. And then I can just input my sender name, email address, username, password, server and port, and I can save it. But if I want to use Deskera's, I can just click here, put in the name, email address, use a different reply to. I can schedule now or schedule for later. So for example, maybe 3 o'clock, set it, schedule. All scheduled, go to campaigns. I can see my different scheduled campaigns here. And if I want to see one that's been completed, I can just click on it. I can see Jimmy Buttons, opened, clicked, bounced, anyone unsubscribed. And I can filter here as well. Let's go to services. Inside here, I have my guides. So I can see my announcements, FAQs. I can click add and create a section. I can also create an article. Let me actually go here. And let me go to Deskera Cares. I just want to copy an article. So maybe this one. So I'm just copying an article here. Let me try. Sorry, I was looking for a screenshot. So I'm just copying this information here. All this wonderful, beautiful information. And I'm going back to sales. I'm just pasting it right on in here. So you can see all the information, all the images, the watermarks, everything comes in here. And maybe I want to make this my title. So I'm copying this, edit here, title. So now I can see this wonderful, lovely document inside here, including invoice design, templates, and Deskera. And I can choose the visibility. Signed in users, everyone, which section, maybe FAQ, who the author is. And then I can save it. I can preview it, and then it's saved. And then my article has been updated. Wow, you have a lot of articles. All right, next we go to support. So this is where I should see all my support tickets if I've connected my support mail, and they'll be sending it on in. I can also manage my views here and add a ticket view. I can put in the name, for example, David, select field, signee, select condition type is David. And I can add other conditions as well. So for example, maybe I want priority is high, and then I can add it into the system. And I continue to, of course, add in different ones. So let me just save this one. And now I have my view here. Next, let's go to deals. Let's make a deal. Now inside here, I can go to my pipeline and I can add a pipeline or use my default one because each company is different. They may have different pipelines. So you may not want to use our default one. You may want to create your own. So inside here, I can put in my new pipeline. So for example, new older. I have one. So I'm just giving an example here. You know, one stage, I can put help desk probabilities, rotting days, how many days before it rots, and then I can save it. But you can change the information here. But I'm just going to use our default one for now. I can see all my wonderful deals right here. And if I want to see a list view, I can see a list view here. And then I can see, for example, like this one, operating to sell 5 computers. And the expected closing date was 11/4/2020. This is not good. So I can see the information here. I can drill in. I can edit notes. Why is this not closed? For example, and add the notes here. So I can see and update. Now, if I want to add a deal, I can click Create Deal, or I can click on one of these plus signs based upon where it's located. After that, I can put in the name. For example, 50 computers. I can put in the organization. So maybe Tom's Computers. I can select the contact, maybe Stacy Williams. And then I can put in the value of the deal. Select the pipeline stage, closing date, deal date, and save here. And then I can see it right here. And then I can just drag and drop it to wherever I want. I can also see this is $10,000 for 50 computers. It seems like very low, so I can edit it up here. Maybe I want to change this to $50,000. Save. I can also go to, I can connect my email. So I was talking earlier about connecting email. So this is where you connect it and you can email to your contact. And when he replies, it'll be recorded. I can also log a mail here. I can create an activity. So I call, meeting, task, deadline. So let's do a meeting. And let me do this for, let's do maybe the 16th. 250 sounds good, actually. And I can select the signee too. So Jason Lim, contact person, Jim Brown, Austin Ideas, and save. I can also send reminder assignee as well as contact here as well. What did I miss? The activity name. So I want to call it a meeting. So the activity's been added. I can see, of course, this activity is a future activity here. Any notes, any logs, and I can click here, won and loss. I can also just go here and just drag and drop. So for example, drag all the way to here, and then I can just drag it to won or lost right on the screen. Activities. So inside here, we can generate a calendar URL. So what does this mean? It means I create a URL here, and I can copy and then paste that into my Google Calendar or my calendar. And then it will extract all my activities from Deskera to that calendar. So that way I have one source of truth. I can go to my calendar. I can see all my meetings. I can see the Deskera meetings. I can see it all in one place, and I know what's going on. We also have list view here. So I can see all my meetings. I can filter by calls. And I can see all to do. And of course, what's done. All right. And that was a quick look at Deskera sales. Let's move on to Deskera people. Any questions for Deskera sales? Nope. Okay. Let's go to Deskera people. So inside here, I can see the dashboard. Under settings, I can see my company settings. And I can see my company address. I can see my work week. I can see my offboarding checklist. And I can see my CPF account. The information in here will change, of course, based upon your tax registry. If you are, of course, in the Singapore, this is what you'll see. But if you're in other countries, you'll see different information here. We have our performance. So you can see appraisal date, appraisal period frequency, our IRAS settings. Again, this populates differently based upon different countries' tax registry. My bank accounts. This is for our gyro. So based upon different countries, you have gyro accounts where you can generate a gyro and then upload it. Our Payslip Designer. So this is where we can create our payslip. And I can change our default to however I'd like based upon our wonderful style manager. And just want to show you here under text. Of course, this information changes based upon which country you're in. So you can see this information here has SDL, FWL, MBMF. If you go to the US, it'll be your federal tax rate and other information, your social security number. So based upon which your country is, this changes differently. Now let's go to, not expenses, let's go to employees, employee list. So inside here, I can see all my different employees. I can see who's been terminated and who's not been. I can click on the three dots. I can edit. John Williams. There we go. And inside here, I can see his designation, birth date. I can see his date of joining, any date of confirmation, his contact details. Compensation date. You can set the effective date for the salary. So for example, maybe this amount here changes. So its default is 3,000, but maybe it gets 5,000 in a couple months' time. Maybe a promotion or something. So you can set effective date of the salary here. I can choose full-time, part-time, casual. Put in the salary. Is it per month, per year, or per hour? And the payment. Is it direct deposit, cash, or check? Then next we can add any fixed components. And we can see the statutory compliance here. For example, is he a permanent resident, Singapore citizen, foreigner, expat, or worker? So he's a permanent resident. So I'm putting in the NRIC number here. Select the nationality. American, country of origin. State of permanence. Start of permanent residence, employee qualification. You can select the race, the religion. And this, you can see, updates the self-help group contributions here. CADCA. If I select another one, for example, let's see, Islam, you can see MBMF. So it all populates based upon what you put in here. And then I can also select your CPF account. Is it SDL applicable? Exempt employee from tax calculation, and save. And it's updated. Next, let's go to components. Inside here, I can add my different components. So for example, under components here, I can add deductions or earnings. And based upon that, I can select the compliance. And this changes, of course, based upon which country you select. So for example, earning could become a bonus. A deduction may be your medical insurance, vision insurance, other insurances that are provided, or medical allowance. So you can decide which one you want. And next, let's go to pay schedule. Inside here, I can add a pay schedule. And I can just add monthly, weekly, twice per month, or bi-weekly. I can select the work week. And you may have multiple pay schedules because different companies maybe have different requirements. Maybe your office staff work from Monday through Friday, but your shop floor workers work Monday through Saturday, for example. You can select the pay date, first pay date, and the work period, and then you can save it. And also, is it applicable to all users or a specific user? Next, let's go to pay run. Inside here, I can add a pay run. I can select it, for example, is it monthly, bi-weekly, twice per month? I can select, is it for all users or a specific user? I can select the period. So for example, June 1st. So June 1st to 30th, apply. And let me select a specific user, maybe David Williams. Oops. And maybe, let's see, John Williams, maybe. I can click process. Of course, you can do all users. It's up to you how you want to set it up. And then I can see the information populating. So I can see here my CPF, my CINDA, CPF and SDL, my CPF, CDAC, SDL as well. I can click on overtime. So this is where I can put in the overtime amount, an OT2, 1.5. I can also change this. So for example, if I don't want 2, I want 4. I can do that as well and put in the amount. If I want to edit, I can click here and edit it and update the information like loss of pay, overtime, any additional components. And then I can click next. Everything looks good. I can process the payroll. And it says here, to ensure accuracy, please review your payroll numbers and make sure they are 100% correct. Do you wish to continue to process payroll? Yes. Then I can click here to view the summary, and I can click finish, and then it's processed. Then I can click the eye icon to see it. And I can click on the credit card here, or the little credit card, and I can make payment. I can select the bank ID, account number, and select which ones are for gyro. All right. Next, let's go to eLeave. Inside here, under settings, I can then go and create my leave management. So this is where I can create my new leave types. So I can put in my leave name. So for example, annual leave. I already have annual leave. Mental health leave. Also already have that. Leave for whatever reason. Yay, don't have that one. But you can put in, for most likely be annual leave, annual leaves. And I can put in the days. I can select, is it prorated by number of days, number of months, or disabled? How is it accrual? Is it accrual every yearly, monthly, one time? Leave accrual on the first day of the year, last day of the year? Do we allow carry forward, and how many do we allow? What is the maximum leave balance? Description. What's the color? Gender. Is it male or female? So you can think of it like maternity or paternity leave. We also have marital status. I heard that in Malaysia, there's leave based upon marriage. So you can determine here, single, married, and separated, divorced, or widowed. Do you wish to have any leave for this? Do you allow unpaid leave? And do you have years of service base? So for example, maybe 1 through 20, you only get 5. 20 through 30, you get 8. 30. If you happen to still be at the company after 230 years, let me know your secret. So years service, 30, 50, and then I can save it and it'll be created. I can go to leave adjustment and do leave adjustments. I can see yearly holidays, so I can create my different yearly, like National Day, Christmas Day, New Year's. And I can choose, is it a one-time date or is it reoccurring? So for example, Christmas is always on the same year, New Year's Day is always on the same year, National Day is always on the same year, same date for every year. But for Chinese New Year, it's always different based upon the year, so you have to always change it. So you click new holiday, you put in the holiday date, you select the date specific. Is it recurring every year or just one time? User management. So this is where you can set up your users, but the key thing here is your teams. Who gets to approve your leave? So for example, if I go here and edit, I can see managers Jason Lim. I can see the manager is also George Go, and the user is James Blake. So 2 managers for 1 employee. So you can set here if are they users or managers. So I know Jason Lim approves as George Go's and James Blake's leave. And I can save that. Any company settings here. So I can see here the company information, the work week, and the start date and end date. Sorry, start time and end time. Now we're in expenses. Let's go to expenses. Inside here, I can see my expense claim dashboard. See it's increasing. I just want to go to admin settings. Inside here, you can see my different groups. I can add groups. So based upon your different departments in your group, you may have different types of expenses. And even in that department, you may have a breakup of different types of expenses. So you can create your different expense groups here. I can see my members. And I can see my managers. For example, let me assign myself as a manager. Oh, I'm already part of some group as a manager already. Okay. So Kathy, it's up to you. You're now the manager. So Kathy Lee is now the manager. So she'll be approving all these people's claims. I also go to category and see all the different categories, and I can add a new one. Travel, golf, bowling, movies. And then I can go default here and save it and add my default group. After that, I can always click here and create my new claim. And we have an OCR browser, so you just drag and drop the receipt in here. It'll read it, and then it should update the information accordingly. And if I want to approve it, I can go to Manager, and I can see Approved, to Review, and All Claims. But again, it's based upon your authorization and the date here. So for example, some of my claims may be very old. So I can see my 5 claims here, 1 submitted. Under Manager, I can see 1 to review, and under Admin, I can then reject or approve here as well. All right, so that's a quick look at books. Any questions? Everyone still awake? Oh, I see. Anything on manufacturing. Okay. Anything on manufacturing. We do have bill of materials, but are you referring to something like route or? We have bill of materials, pretty much. Under products, you can create your bill of materials here, and then you can assemble it here as well. All right. So what's next? I believe it's what's new. So you can share the slide. You shared at the beginning. All right. So let's go to what's new in Deskera. So we're going to go see select different bank providers. So we're just going to go back. I think I showed that originally, actually, when I was doing the demo, but I'll show it again. Under bank, we all have our different banks. And let me just add a bank. Let's call this Union Bank. I'm going to select United States. Click Save and Next. And inside here, I'm going to connect to a new bank. And I'm going to search for Union Bank. And you can see nothing here. So can't find your bank. I click here. Then I'm using Played, for example. Now I get started. And then I can search here. And then I can see my Union Bank. Because it's a US bank, I can see it here. Then I can put my username and password. So if I have foreign bank accounts and I need to connect them up to the system, and based upon the country selected, it's not showing up, I can look at the other providers. So for example, US banks, you can look at Played. European banks, you can look at Yodlee. Salt Edge, you can look maybe for Southeast Asian or Asian banks. So you can take a look at all 3 and see where you can find your banks located. All right. Next one is InDesign. So let's go to Cell. Let's click on our invoices. Let's drill in. Oh, just to mention, we have Manage here. So this is where you can change your labels. So item description, quantity, UM, piece, and discount, price, and discount. You can change the labels here based upon what you require. So if you're a service company, you may want services. You may not want just notes. You may want, instead of quantity, maybe you want hours. So you can change all the information here. Now let's go to design. So inside here is where you can save all your different templates. I can see all the information. I update the theme. For example, maybe no need for ship to. If I'm doing service, I'm going to build to. I can change all the different labels here. I want it. And like, for example, maybe I don't want discount to show because I don't want them to know that there's an opportunity to have a discount. And it disappeared. But the key thing that I want to show also is that we have custom fields here. So for example, outlets. So I can then select my custom field and place it here. Maybe I want to place my outlets here. I can change the size. Maybe here may be good. Text color, maybe I want it to be red. And I can also add other custom fields. So all those custom fields I created, I can just input the information. So contact name, maybe I want to put here instead, add a text field as well. And I want to name this for example, maybe attention, and I can select the contact name and put it here. So attention to this contact person based upon the custom field it'll populate, and I can add it into the system. So this allows you to do some further changes to it, to your custom field. And if I go here, I change my templates. You can see the attention is there. You just may have to move it around to a different location based upon your requirements. But you can see I can just change it to however I like. All right. And of course, then I can save my template up here, save or save as, and I can name it, and then I can choose it. All right. So those are the new features. No questions? Then let's go to frequently asked questions. These are some questions I was informed by the team that are frequently asked. So one is bank reconciliation. Let me close all this stuff. And let's go here to banks. And inside here, I can see all my different banks. Now, depending on what I've done, did I integrate my bank account or connect it up? So for example, you see Bank America, it's connected. So if I click on Reconcile, I can see my transactions that have been pulled in from my bank, and then have they been mapped? So for example, I can see this one here maps, stands max, but this one does not match. So if my transactions from my bank pull in, they should technically match, but if they're not, I can always go here, find and match records. Then I can search and see if I can find it. Holy cow, who made this $19,000 payment? Okay. But then I can search here and I can find the records and try to match it. If not, I can then create a record here as a prepayment, direct expense, or fund transfer based upon my requirements, fill in the information, and they'll match. Now, if I don't want to match anything, let's say I just physically have my bank statement in my hand, and I just want to go and manually match them, I can just click match. So I just go here, and I'll go up and input the information, or maybe, for example, 140. That's what my bank statement says. I can match it. Yes. So I physically match it, and you can see the difference is now 0, which means it's matching. I can click next, and then I can confirm. And then I can save and post it. So that's another way you can do it. You can manually match it. Your bank transfer pulls in from the bank, and then the bank transfer will show you the match. Or you can click on the 3 dots, and you can import your statement. So depending on your statement, you can decide to use our template, or you just can use your own bank statement, just drag it and drop in here, and click next. Now, based upon the labels, the information may change. So for example, it's not payee, you can go here and then look and see if it matches it. Now, if your bank statement has a debit and credit column, you can go to 2 columns here. 2 columns means that there's a debit and credit column here. So for example, inside here, you can see a credit amount and you can see a debit amount. So that way you can match them accordingly. So if there's 2 columns, you can do that. But if it's a 1 column, then you can do the 1 column here. I can just see my description, my reference, my transaction amounts, and I can click next. Then I check and make sure everything looks good. And I usually allow import or duplicate rows because sometimes you have the same transaction that appears over and over again. So, you know, for example, I love a wonderful ramen restaurant here, and I order the same thing every time. So if it comes to my credit card statement, I'll always show the same bill, same amount, just on different dates. So you have to see if it's importing, you know, maybe you want to import with duplicate rows. Then I click submit, and now it's importing into the system. And after it's imported, based upon the number of transactions, then I'll be able to start matching it. So you can see the file's been uploaded, and I can check the import log if there's any records that don't tally. And then I can click Reconcile here. And then I can see the information. So I can see some transactions they're looking for Johnny Electronics, $10. Maybe because the dates are not the same. So for example, maybe this was recorded in my bank on 28/10/2020, but I record in the system maybe on 30/10/2020. Then I can just click here and match it. Okay, this one looks good. So I'm just matching my records, just making sure they all tally accordingly. Stands max. And you just keep doing this until it's completed and you check. The reason why it's different is because a lot of them are not matching directly. They're showing a lot of records that are tallying. I do a lot of $10 transactions, don't I? Okay. So after that, I can go and input the information. All right. So I can see the remainder ones. I can match them as well. But I'm just going to click Next for now. And then I can update my bank statement. So this is the bank statement that I see in, what's it called, in my bank. And then I can just go here and confirm. So for example, if I go here and I just delete it, it shows 28 difference. I can update accordingly to make sure that it tallies, because this bank statement, you should input the total amount from your bank. So because we're not importing directly from your bank since the day one transactions, so the first time you do it, you'll have to probably update your bank statement with what's shown on the screen, and then you can import it. All right, so very simply, I can select the date here, select the period. Oops, not 2020. Maybe 21 July, save. And then after it's saved, then I can go to my reports, and then I can go to my reconciliation log. I can see all my reconciliations here. And under reports, I can see my other reconciliations as well, such as my bank reconciliation summary. All right, and the final thing is filter by custom fields. So this was frequently asked. So for example, under cell, we can select filters here: due date, fulfillment, payment, document, and we can add custom fields here. So for example, let's see, I believe I've selected outlet before. I probably selected Changi, and I can save it. And then based upon that, all my Changi transactions will show. So I filtered it out here, and it'll reflect accordingly. I can do the same thing under buy. Again, I can filter out, add any custom fields under here, select the field that I want to. So for example, remarks or outlet. So it doesn't have to be a drop-down. It can be a text field as well. For example, if I have any remarks and I put in the remarks something specific I want to search for, I can also do that here as well. And of course, our reports. So inside our reports here, our profit and loss balance sheet, I believe I showed you earlier. I can go here and filter, add custom field, select the custom field. And for example, my outlets, and I can select the value. And then I can save it. All right. So that was a quick look at Deskera, some of the new features that came in, and some frequently asked questions. Is there any questions that I can help you with, or anything else you'd like to know about? Let's see. Can we change our supplier's address position on the purchase order template? Supplier's address. Okay. All right. I'm just thinking if you can do it or not in design. Supplier address would be under orders if my memory serves. Yeah, so we go to design. I'm not sure if you can do it here. You can do it under the other templates. Inside here, it's fixed, but if you want to, you would have to then add in a text field, a signature, text field or a custom field. And then from there, you can either pull it in and then move it around. I'm assuming you're referring to, let's see, address positioned in the purchase order template. You cannot change it in design. It's currently fixed in this location, but we can feed back to the team on this. You can hide it, but changing the location, no. You can go, of course, to design settings, and then you can go to our document templates. And inside here, of course, you can download your order template and then move it around and change it to however you'd like. But please take note, it uses Microsoft Word, and you have to use placeholders. So it can be a little troublesome for certain people, but it can be done. All right. So anything else? All right. Well, thank you again for attending Training Tuesday. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. And please look forward and attend our wonderful webinar on Thursday. We have an upcoming webinar and it should be really good and really exciting. So definitely please don't miss it. It's at the same time as now, or the same time this started at 2 p.m.